Once again, good morning to all of you.
Good
Good morning,
morning.
Miss.
Thank you for being there. And we are going to start our class uh, on lesson 24. And we are going to go and I'm going to share my screen with you. And we are going to talk about Harriet Tubman. You remember Harriet Tubman?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
how do
Yes.
you know about Harriet Tubman? How do you know?
Yeah. We studied it. You gave us a listening skill.
Huh?
You gave
Yes,
us a listening.
I gave you a listening skill, right? I gave you a listening
Yes.
skill. So on this lesson, the listening skill was given so that you have a little background about it. All right, as you see, we are going to be talking about Harriet Tubman. Now, what do you think the story is about?
It's about a girl that she wants to be free.
Absolutely, because you know about this audio that the girl who wanted to be free. Now, the title of the story is Harriet Tubman, Conductor on the Underground Railroad. All right, it's a literary nonfiction, as you can suggest from nonfiction that it's factual. You will have more of information about Harriet Tubman. You will have elements of nonfiction as well as fiction because we are talking about her life. All right, and this story will have real people and events. There are going to be dates, there are going to be places that you will know about, and there is going to be element of history about civil rights and slavery and how it came to an end, etc., etc. All right, and this document is going to be with you so you can read a little bit more about the author and Petrie and the illustrator for the drawings and everything, right? Can you see my screen? It's clear?
Yes.
Okay, so we will move on. Uh,
No, it's not clear.
it's not clear. Why it's not clear, Bete?
It's like a glitching. I cannot read it very.
Uh,
Where, miss?
maybe for Badar, is it okay?
What? What should I read?
My screen is okay?
Yes.
All
But
right.
now it's
Yes, we are kind of adjusting and looking at you as well. Is it okay? You can?
yes.
All right.
Yes.
So the learning objectives for today are, we are going to talk about its vocabulary, how each word is used. We are going to talk about author's purpose, which means that why did the author write this story, right? And of course, I would like you to discuss things that you know about her or you want to know about her. All right. So throughout our lesson, we are going to talk about essential question, that how have people in history worked hard to achieve their goals. Now, do you think this woman is a famous woman?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because
Because
she's in a book.
yeah.
Okay, because this is about her. She's in a book, all right, and she's done some great work in history that is going to be remembered by all of us. Yes, Turkey?
And she got a lot of gold.
Sorry?
Got a lot of golds. Gold.
Yes, all right.
Goals?
Yeah, okay. So let's look at our little bit
You
introduction.
sound like
Yeah, let's look at little bit introduction. All right, it's about civil rights. Can you see this? Now, this is how we are going to talk about the United States Constitution guarantees life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness to Americans. Now, we are talking about this African American woman. Her name is Harriet Tubman. That's why we have built a little bit background. Now, you see, all countries have the Constitution. Are you listening?
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
So each country has constitution. Like in Indian constitution, also we have rights for all the citizens, rights for children, rights for residents. Same way, When we are talking about United States Constitution, it talks about liberty and pursuit of happiness to all Americans. Now, I would like to, since we are in Qatar, let's think about Qatar Constitution. All citizens are equal in rights and duties. I'm sure you must have read it in Qatar history. Have you? Have you read about Qatar's constitution?
Yes,
Yes.
maybe.
So, maybe. All right. So, all citizens are equal in rights and duties.
Yes,
This
yes.
is one of the things. Ahmed,
Yes.
we have to take the
Yes.
lesson very seriously, all right? Because you know that everything is being recorded, and anything that is not related to the lesson, it will not be nice, right? When people are going to watch this, okay? So please respond what is meaningful, okay? Okay, Emma? All right. So freedom of worship and faith. What does it mean by that? What do you mean by that? Freedom of worship and faith. What do you mean by this?
Miss, what is it?
Huh?
Faith.
Sorry?
It's faith.
What?
Faith.
Prayers, yes. That people who are living in this country or the residents, they have this right that they can freely worship or pray or follow their faith. All right. So each country has this constitution to safeguard their citizens. Having freedom has not always guaranteed being treated equally. However, as Harriet Tubman's story illustrates, many people were often discriminated against, they were singled out and treated unfairly. Now, back then, there was lots of discrimination. What do you mean by discrimination? What do you mean by discrimination?
Discrimination.
Yes. You remember we had a project. What was the project about?
UNESCO.
Yes, one of the topics, right? Was it not about gender equality?
It was about gender equality.
Yes, it was about gender equality, guys. So it is said that we must treat everybody equally, right?
Even the slaves.
Of course, there is no slavery now. Nowadays, slavery is a crime, right?
Yes.
Yes. So now what happened? I would talk about this lesson. The Civil Rights Act in 1964, look at the dates, right? Since we have the dates, it is factual. That is why it is also one of the features of non-fiction. So made it a crime to discriminate against people because of their race, color, religion, or gender. Now what happened? The government decided that anyone who tries to bully against caste, color, or creed, that will be treated as a crime. All right. So the civil rights of all Americans are now guaranteed under law. In every country, this law is there that we do not discriminate anymore. Where is Khalid gone and Ahmed Naban? Where are they?
I don't know. They closed their
Yes,
camera.
I don't see them.
Yeah.
In Harriet Tubman, Conductor on the Underground Railroad, you will learn about one woman's brave attempts to gain
Yeah.
her freedom from
Yeah.
slavery in 1849.
Oh, yeah.
Ahmed, we can hear. Badr, what's the problem?
Somebody's in the door.
That's okay. I think you should not bother, right?
Okay.
Our class is going on, so you shouldn't bother. So now what happens, guys? Are you listening?
Yes.
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 Okay. So what happens? Harriet Tubman, Conductor on the Underground Railroad. I want to tell you why it was Underground Railroad. Because there was slavery, all right. So some people of the society, they got together, all right. some people of society, they got together because they thought slavery was not right. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Do you think slavery is right?
No.
Yes. Why do you think it's not right?
Because they are blaming people.
They're making people work, but they want to be free.
Absolutely. They want to be free because they are making people work. Now I want to tell you that some people broke the law to help runaway slaves, all right? And they are called, can you see this, guys? This is for you. Abba, can you read this?
Abolish,
Nist. Abolition.
abolitionist.
Yes, they
Abolitionist.
were called abolitionists.
The second,
So what happened? People who thought slavery was wrong, what did they do? They made a group. All right. People who
They
thought
made a group.
they made a group. Yes, they made a group. And what did they do? They got collected and they decided that they want to end up slavery. Okay. So they created a network of safe houses. And these safe houses were called stations. The people who wanted to help the slaves and their houses, they were called station. And the
They
people,
wanted to help or not help.
no, they wanted to help. They wanted to help so that there is no slave left in the hands of these cruel people who wanted to make use of them. Okay.
Okay.
So their houses were called stations at that time. These are not the stations that we talk about, metro stations. These are the stations. These are the safe houses. And they ran the stations and they were called station masters. Other people guided runaways from one stop to the next. Now, runaways are those slaves, you know, they are running for their safety. They wanted to run away from the hands of their landlords. Why? Because they were being exploited. They were treated as not human beings, but as their own property. They did not have any right. Okay, so what did they do? So they were helping these people. These guides were called conductors. That's why the story says Harriet Tubman, conductor on
of the underground
road. Yes.
railroad.
So this is a little background. You must know about it so that you know how the things were done that time. Now, this network that stretched from deep south all the way north to Canada was called Underground Railroad. So that is how the name or the title justifies that it's a story about Harriet Tubman's struggle and how she narrowly escaped from the plantations and how she saved many, many slaves. I remember reading about her and she saved about 300 slaves, you know.
300?
Yes, she, with the help of other people. Now we are going to read about it in the next page. All right. Okay. Now, can you see
This
that?
is the vocabulary.
Yes. You remember? This is
Yes.
the vocabulary. Okay. Now, these are the vocabulary words. I thought that we must go over them before starting with the lesson, because then you will know what do they mean. All right. So, Khalid, can you read this first word, bete?
Intention.
Intention. What is it?
The student intention or plan was
Intention.
to.
Somebody is making noise or scraping on the table, I can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, intention. What is it?
Intention.
Intention. Very good. Now, the student's intention or plan was to provide details about the heroic women. What do you mean by the word intention here? What do you mean?
Should I read it, miss?
Please read.
It's a
Yes,
plan.
no problems, read.
The student's intention or plan was to provide details about the heroic woman.
Yes. The student's intention. Now, see, the meaning is already here. Intention means what you think, what you thought about, what you really wanted to achieve, what you had a plan. So the student's intention or plan was. What is our intention of having this class? What do you mean?
To provide details
Okay, to provide details about what?
about
The woman,
About
the heroic woman.
Harriet Tubman, right? So
Yes.
retorted. What is this? Retorted. All right. Some African Americans held sit-ins in 1950s. They rarely retorted or replied sharply to angry comments. If I say Jack retorted that he does not want to accept bullies, what does it mean?
They were bullying people.
Yeah, what does retorted mean? He retorted, I don't want this. What do you mean by that? The word
He
retort.
doesn't want bullies. He doesn't want bullies.
Yeah, so the word retorted means that he said angrily, okay? He rejected, he did not want to accept bullies. So there are these verbs like answered, whispered, murmured, retorted, okay? So each word has a meaning. Retorted here means to speak sharply or angrily, all right? So now we will go back to the third word, and Turkey is going to read. Turkey, read please.
Motoned
Huh?
with the flick of
What?
his
What are
head.
you saying?
Mo-
Motioned.
motioned with
Thank
the
you.
flick of the leader motioned for the other to follow.
What does motioned mean? What is the meaning of motion?
They make like he is the leader and they have to follow him.
Yes. So what do you mean by motioned? You must have read this word in science as well. Motion, right?
Oh, motion is the movement.
Movement. Excellent. Very, very good. So with a flick of his head means he just nodded. You know, it was a kind of signal that he gave from his head, and the leader motioned. Motion means moved for others to follow. Okay, this is slightly challenging word, but I want you to break the word and then read it so that the pronunciation is correct. Who's going to take
In
the challenge?
me.
Okay, Badar, read.
In ex explicable.
Very good.
Inexplicable.
Inexplicable. All right. The idea of slavery is inexplicable or impossible to understand. Now, I want you to look at this word,
Yes.
exp, explain. It has come from the word explain, exp. So it tells us inexplicable means not impossible,
Not accept.
not acceptable. Very, very good.
Yes.
So the idea of slavery was not acceptable for most people today. We will move on to next word, and Ahmed Naban is going to read word number 5 and the sentence. Okay, Ahmed, are you there? Khaled, are you there?
yeah,
Okay, read.
legitimate,
Legi?
legitimate,
Very good. Legitimate. All right. Martin Luther King Jr. said that African Americans had legitimate reason for their dissatisfaction. Legitimate means legal, valid. Okay, that King Martin Luther, he said that Americans were right, they were valid, that they were angry. Why were they angry? Because there was slavery. So their anger was legitimate, their anger was valid, all right, acceptable. What is this word, guys?
Hoarding.
Hoarding. Can you say together? Hoarding.
Hoarding.
Very good. The abolitionists
Madou.
began, yes. Tell me. Yes, Badr.
Miss, I didn't. Ahmed Naban said.
Ahmed, yes. What do you want? I cannot see you, Ahmed Naban.
Ahmed, open the video.
Okay, مرتك مذاكرة.
Badr, Turkey, and Khalid, right?
Yes.
Let Ahmed Naban join us. Maybe he is figuring it out, but we should not disturb our class, right? We will
Yes.
continue and he will quietly join in. Okay? So now
Yes.
I want to tell you that, okay, I have a question here. You know, children, when lockdown, partial lockdown in Qatar started,
Yeah.
people started hoarding large amounts of food or sanitizers.
Yes.
What do you mean by the word hoarding?
What's it called? Saving or يعني
Hoarding. What do you mean by hoarding?
to get a lot of food and then store it.
Yeah, to get a lot of food and store it. But I want to
Yes.
ask you, children, I want to ask you, you all,
Yes.
you are clever students. I want to ask you, do you think hoarding is good? We should hoard stuff?
Miss, I didn't hear you.
Do you think you should hoard stuff or we should hoard stuff?
If there is sometimes if there is like a war or like corona.
Oh, okay. If there is a war, okay, in case of emergency, but at the same time, we have to be little bit careful and we have to considerate about other people, right?
Because maybe it will be expired.
Yes, when you hoard too much, the dates, it can
And then you cannot eat a lot of food and then it will be all expired.
absolutely. That's very good. So now, we were reading in the past that lot of people collected about 20 bottles of sanitizers, and for some there was nothing left else, right? So this is also not correct. So we have to be a little bit considerate about others so that we get equal amount of things. So hoarding is not always a very positive thing. Okay? So we are going to read the next word, and the next word has a silent letter, and the silent letter is G. How would you read this? How do you read this?
Wait, I can see it.
Can you?
Gnarled.
Okay, G will be silent. It's gnarled. Okay, the gnarled and twisted tree stood as a symbol of this harsh climate. Now, this kind of thing, which is twisted and which has a rough surface, which has twists and turns, this is known as,
Cave.
yes, this is known as,
Cave.
okay. We will move on to the next one. And the next one is, which one is this word?
Destination.
Very good, destination. What do you mean by destination? It's easy.
Like
You want to go to somewhere, that's the destination.
Very good. That's you want to go somewhere, that's a destination. And unfortunately, this time, there will be no holiday destinations for us, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we are going to be staying at home or maybe in Qatar. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. And we pray that everything will be fine. All right. Next word is inconsolable. Okay? Inconsolable. At Dr. King's funeral, many people were inconsolable. Now you have to, when you are trying to find the meaning of a word, you must find it through context, the way the word is used, right? It is a funeral.
Yes.
It's a sad thing, right? Somebody died here, and people
Yes.
are inconsolable, means they were grieving, they were full of sorrow, they were crying, absolutely, they were crying, and they were inconsolable, they could not control their emotions, all right? And the last word is guttural. What is this? Can you read?
Guttural.
Guttural. Okay. Read somebody. Turkey, read the sentence very carefully.
Some languages include guttural sounds. Speakers produce these sounds from the back of their throats.
Yes. Some languages include guttural sounds, means something that comes from your deep down your throat. Now, see, I come from Indian origin, right?
Yes.
You come
Yeah.
from
Arab.
Arabic, right? So we have these certain sounds, and same way French, there are certain sounds that some people cannot pronounce. Why? Because we haven't learned those sounds where they come from. So guttural sound means something from back of your throat. Now, if I may say k sound, k and sometimes g sound, or k sound
Ga.
from the back of the throat, right? If I try to learn Arabic from you guys, and if you tell me, Miss, say this, so I may not be able to pronounce correctly
Miss,
because,
there's this one letter, but I forgot. I forgot it. It's in Arabic
yeah,
that some people they don't know how to say it.
absolutely, some people, they don't know how to say it. So these are the 10 vocabulary words, guys, that we are going to find in our lesson. So now here we are going to talk about our story. Okay, I will go to page.
Miss, Miss, is this in the textbook?
This is in the textbook. This is the story from the textbook. Okay, so I will.
Okay.
I'm going to take you to the story actually, and I will tell you how it will move on. But
I,
first, no, no, no,
So
no, no.
this
Just wait for a while. Just wait for a while. I'm going to just take you to the things now. Tell me one thing in your listening skill, right? Do you remember anything about Harriet Tubman? Anything about
yes,
Harriet Tubman? Do you remember?
yes, I remember.
Huh? You remember?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. So
Miss, her brother, her
yeah.
brothers are very slow and they're clumsy and they can't even walk.
Okay, that's very good. And Turkey, do you remember anything from the audio that you were given for listening
mm,
to me? Tell me one sentence about Harriet Tubman.
okay.
How will I
She
know?
was
Yeah,
she was working so hard.
she or he?
She
She was working so hard. Can you specify what kind of work was she doing?
uh, she was
Yeah,
Farming.
very good. Yes,
okay.
Khalid, what was she doing?
Farming.
Farming. All right, she was working on the estate
Miss,
or the, yes.
and she's even 6 feet tall, and she wears a bandana.
Yes. Okay. So let's quickly go over this. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some things I will read and some things you will read, and we will quickly discuss. All right. Harriet Tubman was born a slave in Eastern Maryland in 1820. Now, this is one of the features of nonfiction that you have dates. It's factual. These are true things, right? Harriet's life with her parents, Ben and Aldrich, was one of the hard work and constant fear, including the fear of being sold to another slave owner and sent away forever. Now, I want you to look at this question. Can you read this?
What evidence in the text tells why Harriet feared being sold and sent away forever?
All right. Evidence means
Clue.
Clue.
clue or proof, right? So,
Yes.
in the beginning, now you see in the first paragraph, we get to know that Harriet Tubman was living with her parents.
Parents.
All right. And the question says that what evidence in the text tells why Harriet feared being sold and sent away? Can you tell?
Because
Yeah.
Because first she doesn't want to be a slave, and second of all she doesn't want to be sold and
Yes, and it's
taken away to another person.
absolutely. So she was fearing because during that time in 1820, slavery was at its peak. And since she was born in a slave in Eastern Maryland, she was fearing that this is going to come to her. Her life is going to be ruined and she's going to be sold off. So the day finally arrived when Harriet had endured. Endured means she had gone through a lot. Enough of this life, she decided to escape to a free northern state, even though her own husband John had vowed that he would never let her go. Now she was married, all right, and the husband said that he will never let her go. But ultimately, something else happened. Do you remember anything?
She asked her brothers
She, yeah,
if they can come with her.
yes. So this shows that was her husband with her?
No.
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 So what do you
And
think?
then the brothers when they went a lot they were so slow, and then they wanted to go back.
Absolutely. So, what does it tell us about John? John was a strong man or
No,
a weak man?
a weak man.
A weak man because he could not even help his wife, right?
Yes.
Yes, he could
He
not.
she he said that he will help her, but he didn't.
Absolutely. All right. Now, I want somebody to read this. Who's going to read it very fluently?
Me.
Only Ahmed, would you like to read? Khalid, would you like to read? They're not there.
Yes.
Okay, you see, you guys have to be a little bit more active, guys. Okay, I'm
Can
going to.
I read?
Okay, read quickly, fluently.
One day, one day in 1849, when Harriet was working in the field near the edge of the road, a white woman wearing a
I
white
remember.
Okay, read.
went past driving a wagon. She stopped the wagon and watched her for a few minutes. Then she spoke to her, asking her what her name was and how she had acquired the deep scar on her forehead.
Thank you. Now, what happened in
Miss,
1859? Yes.
I remember this in the listening skill.
Very good. Okay, I'm going to. Okay, if you remember that, okay, I'm going to ask you this question. Okay, read, Badr. Read the question.
What evidence in the text tells why Harriet feared being sold and sent away forever?
Okay, and what is this question?
What kind of help do you think
The woman.
the woman is the woman in the summit is offering Harriet?
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
Okay. Now, this woman, the white woman who met Harriet, what kind of help do you think she's going to provide her?
Miss, um, in the last in the listening skill in the last of it,
Yes.
I know how did she help her?
Yeah. Okay.
She she when Harriet wanted to escape
Yes.
by herself,
Yes.
she went to the woman, and the woman gave her a lot of locations to go that are safe. She can eat there and everything.
Excellent. Now, can you recall what did I say about safe houses and stations in the beginning? When
Uh,
I taught you that why is it called conductor on the underground railroad, we talked about safe houses, we talked about safe houses and stations, etc., right? We talked about that.
Yep.
Yes or no?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Yes,
white
Miss.
women, this white woman who belonged to that group of people who wanted to help slaves. Okay, children?
Okay.
Yeah. So Harriet told her story of the blow she had received when she was a girl. After that, whenever the woman saw her in the fields, she stopped to talk to her. She told Harriet that she lived on a farm near Bucktown. Then one day she said, not looking at Harriet, but looking instead at the overseer, far off at the edge of the field. So now see, the story is moving forward. The fiction element is also coming up, that she is going to meet other characters. Now I want to ask you, the story is written in which person point of view? Is it first person or third person?
Third person.
Third person, very good, excellent. It's a
Third.
third person point of view. Why? Because look, she is used, right? Nobody is telling us the story. I is not used. So it's a third person point of view. Okay?
Yes.
So now look at this picture.
Okay.
Picture, guys.
Miss,
Yes.
Khalid is frozen.
Huh?
I know.
We will, I will.
Khalid and Turkey.
No,
Yes.
Turkey
No.
is not frozen.
Yeah, Khalid.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. We want to see you now. I can see you on my screen as well.
There is a glitch.
Sorry?
Glitch. There is
Don't
something.
worry. Don't worry. I think it's an internet, your internet issue. Don't
Connection.
Miss, can I read?
we will not read. We will quickly discuss. And next time you
Okay.
read, because it's a long story. Okay, Badar?
Okay.
Okay, look at this. Which kind of punctuation mark is this?
Quotation.
Excellent. It's a direct quotation. When do we use the direct quotation?
In the first sentence.
When
In the first
not
sentence.
first sentence, when someone is speaking, it's the dialogue.
When
Or
someone is speaking.
the speaker's words. If you ever need any help, Harry, ever need any help, why you let me know. All right. Who said that?
Oh, all right.
Harriet. I mean, no, the white woman. With the white.
The words of white woman. That's why the author has put them in the direct quotes like this. Okay. That
Yes.
same year, the younger heir to the Broaders estate died. Harriet mentioned the fact of his death to the white woman in the faded sunbonnet the next time she saw her. She told her of the panic-stricken talk in the quarter, told her that the slaves were afraid that the master, Dr. Thompson, would start selling them. Now, Harriet's fear was building up. Why? Because Dr. Thompson, who was in charge of the slaves, he would further sell them off. And Harriet was worried. She now, from one place to another, poor girl, she will have to go. So what did she say? Okay, but read. She said,
She said that Doc Thompson no longer permitted any of them to hire their time.
yes.
The woman nodded her head, clucked to the horse, and drove off, murmuring, "If you ever need any help."
All right.
This-
So this white woman, she was one of those peoples who were there for a noble cause. They wanted to help the slaves. So their houses were stations. Okay, guys? And they were the conductors,
Yeah.
they were the station masters who were helping these slaves to be free. So the slaves were right about Dr. Thompson's intention. Intention means Dr. Thompson's
Thinking.
thinking, plans. He began selling slaves almost immediately. Among the first ones sold were two of Harriet Tubman's sisters. They were south with the chain gang on a Saturday. Now, it's very unfortunate that she had.
That's when she became more scared.
Okay, guys. So now you know the background of this story, right? We will continue in the second Zoom session. And
Okay.
I want you to focus on the vocabulary words, save this document, consult the dictionary, find out their meanings, and note it.
Miss, you will give us this document?
Yes, we are going to post it, everything, the entire report. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Take care and review everything. All right? Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye. Miss,
Yes?
will we have A to Z?
Will we have homework?
No, you will have today's lesson. Today you will have today's lesson and you will review the words and the meaning, and you will have assessment tomorrow.
Will we have A to Z?
Yes, we will see how many of you have read it, and then accordingly I'm going to issue a book. All right?
Okay.
All right.
Entire week. Okay, bye. We are ending the meeting today.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
3, 2, 1, bye.